Hi, Kat at Cohost. I am here with Erin Peña today for our Cohost Quick Tips. She is a yoga instructor, a massage therapist, a teacher. She's doing it all, and like all of us, she is doing it all from home right now. So we're going to talk a little bit about wellness with her. She taught yoga classes here at Cohost. She was also at the Yoga Barn in Arlington. I had a massage from her there at one of their retreats over there, which I think they're going to be doing hopefully again later this year. Erin is wonderful and knows so much about full body wellness, and she's here to share some of that with us. Hi, Erin.
Hi, I'm so happy to be doing this. This is so exciting.
I'm so sad that you had to leave us and move to Oregon.
I know.
But
it's the farthest away I could possibly be without, it's so close yet so far away. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I think right now we're probably all feeling this so close but yet so far away stuff.
Yes, for sure.
I have been noticing too, just in my own life, that on the days when it feels the most sort of panicky or like, oh gosh, what am I doing? Why am I here? Kind of thing. I can kind of run through a checklist of things. One of them is, have I gone outside? And if I have outside, I'm going outside. That's step one. Have I talked to somebody that I like today? Because sometimes you spend the whole morning talking to the insurance company and you're canceling your, garbage thing, and then you're calling the phone company and whatever, and you're like, oh, I want to talk to somebody I like and do that. And then the other one is, have I moved my body? Like, have I done something physical? And it can be taking the garbage out. It doesn't. Have I gone to get the mail? It doesn't have to be, did I do my 45-minute workout?
Right. No.
But I find, step one, going outside. By the time I get my shoes on and go outside, then I am going into the garden. Then it's this little tiny step kind of thing that I can do this one small thing, and then, oh, look.
Yeah. For me, it's, I have to every day. I get up, and our mornings, of course, are much more leisurely now because there's nowhere to go. But I always, at a certain point, say, okay, and I take a shower and I get dressed and I put on, my day leggings as opposed to my night leggings. I know. and at least prepare to do something. And usually it's a decent walk with the dogs, who have had quite enough of me and my dog walking. They're like, we don't like this. My dogs are 9 and 10 and they're not interested. But how fortunate we are that it's springtime and not the dead of winter.
Imagine if it was November.
So that we can, I know we can't take our kids to the park, but at least we can walk around our neighborhoods and not be, at least depending on what the weather is like where people are. For us, because we're on the other side of the mountains, we have had 70-degree days.
Yeah.
We've been sunshine and 70 degrees. So I sat outside in the sun, and that boost of vitamin D does wonders for your well-being. Finding those moments where you can just say, okay, this is my happy time. And whether it's a coloring book or diffusing essential oils or taking a bath or doing a little yoga or, enjoying a glass of wine in solitude, which is, or a bottle, whatever, is it's so important. And to acknowledge that you still deserve that. And that you don't have to be anything on the other side of this, wherever that other side might be.
Right.
This could be the beginning of a whole new normal for us, and we just don't even know. And that uncertainty too is stressful. So whether you need exercise endorphins or whether you need, creativity, or just kind of taking a moment to reflect and see, what is it that's going to give me that sense of normalcy, sense of happiness, sense of well-being that I may not have the other 23 hours or 23 and a half hours a day.
Yeah. Well,
I
think because for a while it was a moving target. Like, when are the kids going back? They're not. Okay. When are people going back? Okay. They're not. Are they going to wait for another 2 weeks to tell us that instead of going back on Tuesday, we're going back in 3 Tuesdays? With a moving target, you can have goals, you can have aspirations, you can have intentions. But when there's no real end point, there's hard to set that distance for yourself. So for a while I was like, we are having salmon for dinner. That is as far as I've gotten.
That's good. That's as much as I can do right now.
And those were the best days because it's like I defrosted something this morning. I'm already working on dinner, and then dinner will be what it is, and then tomorrow I'll start over. It's this kind of one day at a time stuff that was, especially in the initial stages, was really helpful. And then now, sort of getting back to these co-host quick tips and doing some things here at work, and my husband doing a little bit more work and kind of rolling through what it could look like for the next few months. I still can't think about, is my son going to kindergarten next year? Is my daughter going to preschool next year? Like, we are just, this is what we're doing today.
And it's interesting because, we live our life in end, well, when summer comes, I'm going to, or, well, I want to have this done by the holidays, or I want to, and at this point, we're in such a weird limbo that trying to feel like you need to come out of this, wherever the end of this is, as something different, or with this pressure to, get into the best shape of your life, or, change your whole whatever. You know what? That's way too much pressure in a time where we don't even, like, I don't even know what I'm making for dinner. And like you said, we're having salmon for dinner tonight, and that's as far as I can go with that, because no one knows, it could all change again tomorrow. So I think, yes, there are companies that are doing wonderful things for people who want that. SiriusXM is offering their services for free. So if you don't have SiriusXM and you want to listen to Sirius, they have an app, whatever, and it's free until I think June. Peloton is doing, their app is 90 days for free. You don't have to put in a credit card. So if you want access to multiple different kinds of workouts, it's there for you for free. But those are big companies. There's also small companies that are doing that. A lot of yoga studios, especially in the area that you're in, are offering free classes. They've created YouTube channels, and there's uploading classes. The teachers are doing them from their living rooms, and they're free. Yes, I'm sure they would love a donation or some sort of support, but they're there to support the community. And I think that is so beneficial. I read a meme right when this first started that said, if someone had told me how wonderful it is to do yoga in my living room in pajamas, I would have started doing this a long time ago. Because there's no pressure. You don't have to, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Takes that. Some people don't like to go to classes because of the fear factor. Well, now there's no fear factor because you're just doing it for yourself in your living room.
What's a good seated stretch?
So a great seated stretch, I always like to start with the head and neck, because we tend to find ourselves hunched over, bent over, looking down at things. And so to just take a moment to pull your shoulders down out of your ears consciously and roll them back. Right. I heard somebody say the other day, roll them back like you're putting them in your back pockets. Oh. And then, right?
Down.
Back and down. And then interlace your fingers and bring them behind your head, right to that, it's the occipital ridge, but it's that bump right on the back of your head, at the top of your neck, back of your head. And then just gently use your fingertips to slowly weight your head down. And we probably spend a lot more time like this to elongate the back of the neck. But we're going to want to bring that back up and then go in reverse. So you're going to bring your hands in front of you, hook your thumbs underneath your chin, and then use your thumbs to guide your head backwards. So finding that opposition, stretching those muscles on the front of your neck. And that one probably feels a lot better and a lot more like you're doing something than the forward, because forward tends to be where we are a lot. And then this is a pretty well-known stretch where you reach for your opposite ear and guide your ear down to your shoulder on each side. And I would stay there for 3 to 4 breaths. And I like to use breaths as opposed to counting, because then that it invites you to control your breath consciously, which is going to help relax you anyway. So even if all you're doing is taking a few minutes, a few breaths, forward, backward, side to side, you've already started that movement of creating that intentional movement and intentional breath. So even if that's all you do, that's fantastic. If you wanted to add an element of self-massage, we all probably played a recorder or a piano at some point, maybe. right? But we all can figure out what this movement looks like. And then taking that movement to your fingers right on the sides of your head, and just use those piano movements or those recorder movements, or as my stepson would say, his saxophone fingers, up and down the back of your neck and across the top of your cranium, your noggin, as I like to say, up and down and maybe to the sides and all around, just giving your scalp a massage.
Yeah.
And then, and if you find a place that feels a little bit more tender, obviously giving it a little bit more attention, because relaxing your scalp actually helps to relieve stress. If we think about stress and how that manifests in our faces, usually we are much more, everything's kind of engaged, all those muscles right in here, that it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
My dad, that.
But it's a true story. It actually is. There are so many muscles in your face. So taking a moment to start at your scalp, and that can also bring stress relief to the rest of your face and shoulders, which is how we kind of, we spend our lives like this.
So much
to open everything
we don't
up.
have anything behind us, like
right.
opportunities
right.
to do stuff back there.
Right. And so we don't have that. So taking a moment just to kind of open everything up and bring a little blood flow and breath to just the top part of your body can really bring a lot of stress relief to everything else. I already feel much calmer because I was a little nervous about this.
But well, and I do this thing with my kids, which is the hand breathing, which I don't know if we've talked about before, but you go inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, and it's kind of surprising how it's touching yourself, your hand like this, really drives home that you're doing something. And then you're guaranteed to have 5 good deep breaths.
Yeah.
You know, the kids think it's kind of fun to go up and down, and they're panting through, trying to go fast, trying to go slow. It's a good one.
Yeah. I also like the alternate nostril breathing, which I don't know if you've done that.
Yes.
You take thumb and your forefinger, inhale through the open side, close it up, exhale through the now open side, and then inhale, close it up, exhale, and do 5 rounds of that on each side. And that's also super relaxing, causes you to be super intentional. Not the greatest thing right now during allergy season, perhaps. It tends to be a little bit more challenging for those of us who have pollen issues. Even just recognizing what it is you need for wellness. For some people, this is not part of the vernacular for them. And so, what is it that I need? I know I need to laugh. I know I need sunshine. I know I need to move. So we have, instead of, we were watching some very dark, we watched Gotham on Netflix, and we managed to finish all 5 seasons in the last few weeks. But it's very dark. And I said, okay, we need something funny. We need funny. I need to laugh. We need to, so we found, some series to watch and things to do that are funny, like comedy, stand-up comedy, and, funny shows, because we need that element of laughter. At least that's what I need. But everybody's different, and identifying that is sometimes more challenging than we realize. Yeah. So start with breathing, and maybe, move from there.
And the comedy special.
And a comedy special, and maybe a spicy margarita. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. You could start and end with a spicy margarita. I love those.
Yeah. There you go. Or 3. Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, Erin, thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Absolutely my pleasure. It was so wonderful to see your face and your plants, and I just miss you guys so much. So I'm so happy to be able to do this. Thank you so much.
So grateful. So we'll put Erin's contact details at the end here, so you can reach out, follow her on Instagram. She has some really great photos there. And hope to hear from you again soon. Thanks, Erin.
Absolutely. Bye.